All right, it's Hot 97, TT Torrez, and welcome to another episode of Artist Quarantine, brought to you by Boost Mobile. And we have a very special guest. Her name is young Devyn, and of course, she is from our hometown. Well, not my hometown, because, I'm from the Bronx, but, I'm saying? She's from New York. Give it up for young Devyn from Brooklyn. Ew. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, you look so cute, man. You got your glam going and everything. And I look more regular schmegular today. You know what I'm saying? I should have put some lashes on or something.
Yeah, I throw little lashes on, If it's up to me, really, I don't even like makeup, I say as natural as possible, but I still get glammed up here and there.
Yeah. Well, now that you are a signed recording artist officially, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, put the lashes on, let's do a little makeup, you know what I mean?
Do something. Your hair not gonna get a hat, do something. So
shout out to my girl Latrice. She was texting me earlier, and Latrice, she's over at your label, of course, the head honcho at your label. But I've known Latrice. We came up in the industry together, and it's so funny because Ayala and I worked on a lot of projects together in the past too. But for some reason, I don't know why, because Ayala did tell me that Latrice signed you, and that like Latrice is like in love with you. But for some reason, I just kind of was like not paying it no attention, or maybe I was on so many Zoom meetings that I really didn't like soak it in. And then when she hit me, it was like, "Oh, Ayala told me you're speaking to Devyn today." I'm like, "That's right. Oh my God, Latrice, I forgot." And I know she does not sign bullshit. Like I know her track record.
Please don't play. She has a good ear when it comes to like talent and just listening and finding those artists. I feel like who really are the playmakers in the game, and I feel like that was a good decision for her to add me, to the roster.
Yeah,
that was a great decision. And of course, I'm gonna show out.
Yeah, but Latrice was very influential in a lot of artists' careers, like from Rockefeller days to Future, Dirty Sprite to Khaled, like just I could go on and on. Yo Gotti, so many artists that she has broken and created the blueprint for to be the superstars that they are today. So I say that to say is that you're in really good hands with her. And Ayala is a beast when it comes to the radio things. I worked with her on an artist in the past and what she does.
Next child, like she loves me.
Yeah, so you're in good hands. I forgot, I get so busy that I'd be like, and Ayala could tell you I got like 20,000 jobs that she can call me like 2 and 3 times. I'm like, oh, gotta call her back. But when she has my attention, And then you hit me in my DM, so it all made sense. I'm like, oh my God, this is her. Like, I need to pay attention. Like, so now you have me. Now I'm paying attention.
That's all that matters.
We here, and I'm paying attention now.
Yeah.
So you put the freestyle out, Drewski, enough. They're all over it.
Yeah.
Like you're on a drill beat. Just tell me a little bit about you. I want to get to know you.
Yeah, so I'm an artist, Brooklyn, New York, repping Trinidad. I started doing music when I was 8. My family, they're from Trinidad, so of course the Caribbean culture is heavy. I got really big in soca music, started performing with like Masha Montano, Lyrical, Bungie, Patrice Roberts, any other big soca artists I've been on tour with them. I started selling out my own shows, and then I just always felt like soca wasn't mainstream, and I wanted to be the artist to bridge that gap. And so I whether it been pop, R&B, whatever it is, I was gonna get into it. But then I fell in love with rapping and the art of it, and I actually just fell in love with the hip hop culture itself. And so that's kind of how I transitioned into doing rapping and things like that when I was like 16, 17.
Yeah, you come from Brooklyn, which is a melting pot of cultures. Did you spend time in overseas? I mean, in the Caribbean islands, or were you mainly based there?
I was back and forth in a sense of like growing up, because the Caribbean culture, my Trinidadian culture is heavy. Like I basically am from Trinidad when you really think about it, because I was in Trinidad my whole life, and then when I started performing and touring, I will always go back to Trinidad every year for Carnival. So that definitely has a huge influence on my music. And then, New York, they got like the Labor Day parade. So the Caribbean culture always has.
Oh, and you're from Brooklyn. Like, girl, it's a melting pot of Caribbean culture in Brooklyn and African culture, and just so many people with so many different backgrounds. And you're actually from the home of some of the greatest MCs, Jay-Z, Little Kim, Biggie, the list goes on and on. Pop Smoke, rest in peace,
Yes,
who was very influential.
in the game
And
right now, the sound.
yeah, the drill sound. I mean, the drill sound always been around. You know what I mean? Shout out to Chef G and all those guys.
A lot of people, I was kind of there to see the whole thing start because I think I was kind of like the only female really rapping on drill beats back all the way back in 2016 with KJ Baller, God rest his soul. Yeah, I was kind of like, you know what, there's no girls really doing it right now, but at the time it was still underground. And I was always with the guys. No matter how much I grew up, I always stayed with the guys. I was always like that chick that, she was just one of them. So I always used to just be with the guys. And when I realized, okay, this little New York drill going on, there's no girl, I ended up rapping on it. And then like years later, because it kind of died down for a little bit underground, and then years later, Pop came and he took it to heights that is unimaginable.
Yeah, but if you look at what Bobby Shmurda and those guys were doing before they got locked up, they were very influential in making the sound popular. And of course, UK and London, they've been doing that. They're the ones that originated. Well, I don't know if they originated, but they were very influential in that sound.
Their thing, UK grime.
UK grime, yes.
Look at the beats on YouTube to try to find a drill beat. You got to type in UK drill. Nowadays, New York drill, but in the beginning, when I first used to try to look for beats, it definitely was UK drill.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: in a climate where you have a lot of female rappers out right now, this is good for hip hop. I love it. But you also have a lot of people that are lazy with it and aren't pushing their pen like it once was before.
Right.
A quick 8 and a hook, and you in and you out. And do you feel like you have to rap like any other female, or you have to exploit your sexuality or be sexy in order to make it mainstream?
No, I actually don't. That's one of the things that I really emphasize in my raps. Like at the fact, and I be a little cocky with it because I say things like I don't gotta sell my body for no CC. Like I'm talking about me not being having to talk about sex and over sexualize myself and sell nothing but sex to get attention. I think my music speaks for itself. Even just with things like cursing, I don't even curse in my raps, but my point still gets across. It still hits the same, that you don't even realize that I'm not cursing because I use those words that execute the same. So
is that a conscious thing for you not to curse in your rap?
It's like conscious and unconscious, because first it started unconsciously because, like I said, I was doing music since I was 8, and I wrote all of my songs from 8 till now. I've written myself, so of course I'm not gonna be cursing at 8 years old. And because of that, it's taught me to expand my vocabulary. When I was young, my grandmother used to make me read a lot, so if I would get tired of books, she would make me read the dictionary. So but at a certain point, I started knowing a lot of words. Even if I don't know the meaning of it, I know the word because I used to read a lot of dictionaries.
Well, that Trinidadian culture is very much about education and very disciplined.
It expanded my vocabulary to the point where I don't really necessarily even feel like I have to curse because, like I said, I started off young, but then I'm 19, about to be 20. I'm at the age where, that little transition can happen, but I be chilling. I'm like, nah, I'm doing pretty well, so.
And your own lane of what you can do.
Like creating my own sound.
Yeah. Have you started expanding with who you work with in terms of producers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm open. I'm not picky when it comes to producers. I actually been looking for beats and beat packs, talking to a lot of producers, linking up with a lot of producers, because I do different things. I don't do just one type of lane. So I definitely am open to working with a lot of producers.
So tell me, how did the link up happen with you signing with Latrice? Like, what was that like? Because she's from Brooklyn, so I know that she always has her ear to what's happening.
Yeah. My manager, he actually knows Latrice, but just the timing and everything had to be right, so once we lined up everything and the timing was good, because Latrice been in tune for a while, and once we figured out everything and we really realized like, okay, this is something that she could definitely be on board with, we just all linked together, became one big happy family, and been making the records, and this is our first record that we put out really under Latrice and 4th and Broadway, and they've been showing me nothing but love. This is way more than I could ever even imagine, so I'm only excited how far it's going.
And a great thing about having women executives is I feel that we bring such a different level of passion to a project.
A different eye on things because you guys are women, y'all understand, you know. So
We have the intuition, we understand, but we also know the challenges that as an artist you face, as a female artist that you face, because we also face them as executives.
exactly.
So it gives us a different level of passion and grind and tenacity than any other executive. And
Yeah.
I say that to say because we've been there. Like we know, we understand, we
Y'all
get it.
know what it is. Y'all know what it is to dig in the trenches, be that young girl that you got to prove stuff to all of the men in the room, but you got to walk in the room and not be scared because they it's like they're looking for any little thing to talk down on you. You always got to be on point. So yeah, you guys definitely understand what that is.
Yeah, yeah. And there aren't many, and sad to say, it's starting to happen now, but there aren't many executives, female executives,
Right,
especially Black women executives, to the
right,
level that Latrice is on.
right.
You're starting to see it expand more now, but this is 20, 15 years she's been in the game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm proud that she is trailblazing the way and making it happen for women to come after her.
Yeah,
So yeah. Let's talk about people that you kind of look up to. You know, like I said, you're from Brooklyn. You're like the home of all the talented artists,
yeah.
like Fab. I didn't mention him earlier, but you know, Fabulous is another one. Um, are there any particular rapper that you said, you know what, that person is dope?
Yeah, Nicki Minaj was the person who made me go, I want to rap. Like I was watching a documentary from her and just seeing her passion and hunger for just to get into the studio, you know, it made me go back and listen to her albums. And I listened to the Pink Print in particular. And it was just the songs that was my first time really catching punchlines and bars and metaphors because, you know, I was a casual listener. I'm growing up in New York. Of course, you're going to know hip hop, but me being 14, 15, I'm not paying attention to bars and metaphors. So when I finally discovered what it was at first, I thought she was the only person who did it. I didn't know that was a thing in like rapping. So when I started listening to other hip hop artists and really digging into their albums like Meek and DMX and Jay-Z and Lauryn Hill, and I really
Jay-Z
started.
got the Jay-Z, in my opinion, has the best pen game on the planet. Like if you think about everyone he's even wrote for, there's some
Yeah,
people that won't even tell you Jay penned their line.
even Jay now, like you know, some artists they get rusty over time. Like even now, his verse that he did with Nipsey, fire.
Right? Even the pen game on Savage.
Yeah,
Like, listen to the pen game on Savage when he says when Beyonce says, I might start a only I'm on that demon time, I might start a only fan.
I
All
love
that is
that he so
looking like some scammers up in here. Like that's
yeah, like
Jay. You know
never
that's Jay.
dated. It's never like, you know, this is old. This sounds like old. Like it's always in tune. He's with the culture. He knows what's going on, but he still make it funny and witty. Like
Yeah.
that's what I love from Jay. Like his wittiness, I always loved. So I wanted those types of lines to be able to shock people or for people to be like, ha, you know, when they're listening to your songs. And that's what I just took from these artists and I kind of put it in a boiling pot and it created Young Devyn.
Yeah, yeah. And when you write, how do you do your creative writing? Is it something that, you know, you hear a beat and you go in and you just write to it, or do you just write in your phone? Like I go in the studio sometimes
Mm-hmm.
where I use Remy for an example,
Mm-hmm.
and she will literally have all the verses penned.
Mm-hmm.
Like she
Yeah.
or she'll hear a beat and just pin it right then and there. And it's so crazy, like the creative process of her writing.
Yeah, it varies. Like sometimes I might listen to a beat and be like, okay, this beat is fire, and I'll write to it. Or I might go into the studio with nothing and I'll come out with a whole record, you know, like I did the other day. It's whatever the vibes are. You know, I try to stay as prepared as possible. But if so be the case, if I gotta go in the studio and I can write something then and there, I do as well. So it really just depends. Or sometimes I might be driving down the street, I might hear something that or I might remember something that I think would be dope to talk about in a rap. I'll write it down. Or like and this is like a special key and a cheat code I could give to artists. Think about like the conversations that you have with people, like, and listen for the things that get the bigger reactions, because those are the things that you want to talk about in your music the most. Like when I say things like you only got rich off a pandemic, like that's a line that people talk about in my Instagram comments all the time because these are things we casually talk about, but you'll never hear it on a record. So it's like you kind of gotta be that artist to, you know, be the first to say it. And I just like to listen to things that are going to make people react. So I'll always write down ideas and things like that. But when it comes to like my lyrics, I always stay prepared or I'll go in the studio and I'll cook something up.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you spend that type of time on your craft, you
Mhm.
know, because it's a different era and a lot of younger artists really I don't want to say don't care about the metaphors and punchlines, but it's not as important to them.
Right, everything about it. I just feel like me personally, number one, coming from a Caribbean background, you gotta be 100% to get, that type of acknowledgement. Like to even do music. My father, for example, did not like the fact that I did music at all. I didn't.
Really? What did he want you to be?
He wanted me to be like a doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had you pinned as a doctor, right?
Because when I was younger, I was so quiet. Like he would never think his little quiet daughter would be singing right at 8, 9 years old. And it wasn't until my dad seen me on stage performing and he seen a reaction of people that he was like, okay, like this is something that I think that she could do. So I just always tell people like, you got to just keep going, like no matter what, you got to stay consistent in that.
So how do you feel when you get in a car and you hear enough at the new at 2 and he's
Yeah.
playing your record? Like what is that like for you?
That's surreal because it's like a dream. It's really like a dream come true to just be driving down the street and just hear my song on the radio. Like I was in an Uber the other day, like, I'm still a regular person. So it's like things like I'm in an Uber and I'm hearing song on the radio. I'm like, hi, can you turn that up? Like that's me. And he was kind of shocked, the driver, because he was like, wait, that's really you. I can hear it in your voice. And he was talking me down the rest of the way. But it's just so surreal because it's like growing up as a kid from New York City, like I'm running into all of the people that I used to look up to. Like I studied the game, I studied the craft, and going back to that, like
I could tell you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, like a lot of artists don't have that discipline. I've had that discipline. I've put in those hours. I've watched all of my favorite artists interviews. I've watched the documentaries. Like everybody that I'm running into, they're like, hi, my name is. I'm like, I know you. Come true. Even to be in this interview, like I listen to you all the time. So like, be sitting here talking to you is a blessing.
Yo, you know what's so crazy is that I still get like that too when I hear myself on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, I never lose that passion. Like I never lose a passion to interview someone, or I might be just extremely busy, but I never lose the passion of getting in and discovering an artist and being the first to play their record, or hearing a new joint and being like, yo, that right there is crack. Or going into a studio session and hearing an artist, cook up something. I think when you lose that passion or that edge, it's time to get out the game.
Exactly.
And so like how you have that energy, I just pray that you keep that, like, and it doesn't become like a job and it's so overwhelming and like I don't want to do this no more. When digital or when social media starts coming at your neck, and remember these moments, because these moments are so precious. And I've talked to so many artists who are just like you, starting out, and now they're on top of the world, and they're just so stressed out. And it's like, yo, you got to shut the noise out and just remember that passion that you had in the beginning.
The one thing that I always say, and I tell people, is just to keep God with you, because I feel like that'll transcend through everything. Like you might not even have the close relationship to God, but it's never about what's the closest or who's the closest. It's about your heart and how genuine you are. So I tell people all the time, no matter what it is, whenever I need an answer, I talk to God about it. If I feel unsure about something, I speak to God about it. I pray through everything, and I just stay humble. I have people around me that are humble. Like anybody that's in my team, like that I've been with, they've been with me for years. They've seen me. I was 8 till now, or 16 till now. So I always keep those types of people around me all the time to just keep me sane, keep me feeling normal, keep me feeling humble, how busy I am and overwhelmed I get. And like I said, I just call and I just pray to God, and He gives me all that I need. So.
Yeah. You have to sit in that quiet space sometimes just to hear. Yeah. So let's talk about your project, because I know you dropped the freestyle and I know you're working on your songs. Will it be like an EP? And if so, are you going to be giving us a little bit of that Trini sound and a little bit of singing, or what you mixing it up? Tell me.
The EP's finished. The EP's done. It's handed in, ready to go. Right now, first of all, I'm loving the momentum and everything. We're straight to it, so we're just working. But the EP's done, and the good thing that I love about the EP is like we're in a day and age where it's a lot of microwave music. It's a lot of come and go music. I feel like I'm an artist where my music is something where you got to digest it. Like if you want a love song, you don't got to go to another artist. If you want a hype song, you don't got to go to another artist. It's like, for me, if you want to go to a love song, you go to track 4. If you want a song, you go to track 6. And if you want an introspective song, you might go to the intro. Like I want to be an all around type of artist. So I took my time and I really perfected my craft. And you're gonna see all sides. The Trini side is coming out.
I love that. Who was the master at that? That I really loved. It was Kim. When you listen to Kim album, she gave you the Trini. She gave you that Caribbean culture. I don't know if it was Trini, so I don't want to say Trini.
Yeah, no, but that Caribbean diaspora, the twang.
Yeah, and then when you wanted to run up on this dude named Jimmy, she gave you the Nasty Jimmy song. You know what I'm saying? When you wanted her to rap, she gave you the Queen Bitch shit. So I love that. I love the fact that you're thinking like that as an artist to really have something that is go to track 5. You don't have to turn from the album. Yeah, that's really good. All right, so do we know when the EP is dropping?
In a couple weeks, and definitely in a couple weeks, like it's ready to go. It's just we're building up everything, we're preparing everything, but in a couple of weeks it'll be out. It's gonna go crazy. I think it's gonna do really well, just because it gives my fans different sides of me. They get to see me for who I really am, because I'm naturally quiet. The only times I ever really talk is like interviews or in the studio. So
But you couldn't tell from this interview that you're naturally quiet, because you have a lot of good energy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But the magic is amazing.
So tell me, how are you navigating through this COVID? Like just quarantining, it has been very challenging for a lot of people, especially as a new artist like yourself. It's like, New York City, oh my God, girl. It's like we have nothing to do. Like I haven't got my nails done since Valentine's Day. Like your nails are popping, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, I haven't got mine done since Valentine's Day. I literally this is my office and this is where I broadcast. I can't even go after 10 o'clock. I'm like, can't even go nowhere. I had to, me and Latrice, by the way, let me just tell you this story. The last dinner date me and Latrice had, we wanted to, they was kicking us out by 10 o'clock. Then I'm like, oh, Latrice, we gotta get a drink, something. We can't just go home. Like we need to be, it was a Friday night. Like, damn, we had to drive all the way to Jersey just to be able to drink past 10 o'clock.
Wait, Jersey's open later than New York?
Yes. It was open later than New York. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's nothing to do.
It's nothing to do in New York. And it feels like I have a bedtime before I even have a bedtime. Like, how are you telling me I got to go inside at 10 o'clock? My thing is, right, with the rules, I don't be understanding sometimes, but I get it, though, because, we want everybody to be safe. But COVID don't got a time that it comes outside. Like, it's here all day, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Like, it don't matter. But
you got a point, though.
I understand,
So how are you navigating through it, though? Are you doing a lot of virtual stuff? Like
COVID, definitely, of course, it is bittersweet, a lot bitter, losing lives. I've even lost people that I personally know to COVID, but I also think, COVID has definitely taken a time where a lot of artists have to now sit down and humble themselves and think about ways to be, new, introspective, find ways to attract people without the antics, without the gimmicks, without you being.
I was talking to Puff earlier on FaceTime, and he said, yo, Titi, this is time for us to do a great reset.
Yes, that's exactly what I think this is. I think that, it definitely brought on new things, like these virtual concerts, just little things that wasn't a part of the culture before, or the music industry period. I feel like is definitely something that's going on now, where artists are now dominating the internet. We're being more open because we have no choice to, because it's no way we can connect with our fans physically. So I think that is something that is definitely dope if you know how to maneuver through it. And like I said, even I myself have been finding introspective ways to just, stay up to date, attract my fans, figure out what's going on in the temperature of the music business. But, I think it's something that everybody should take time on, work on, and and
it's giving artists a lot of time to be in that studio and not being on that road.
Right. We in a pandemic, so you got nothing but time on your hands to perfect your craft and really work at it.
You an artist, and this past year you haven't cranked out at least 3 or 4 albums. I don't know what you let this year do.
You filling it up with features, singles, just content. I think this is a year and a time where you just need as much content as possible.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm super excited for you. You're in good hands over there. I love both of the ladies that you're working with. I can't wait for the EP to drop. I know I'm going to be hearing some music before it drops. I think I yell it, or somebody's going to sneak me something so I can hear. But you have a home here at Hot 97, and of course, we want to do more with you. We want to support you. Shout out to Drewski and Enough. And everybody else who has been waving the flag for you. And all I could say is just, good luck on everything. And we're here. We're
Thank
here.
you so much. I
You
really
have my
appreciate
attention
it.
now. We are here.
I made it. Now let me stop.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much for taking the time out with me today.
Thank you.
Everybody, is Young Devyn, and of course, this is another episode of Artist Quarantine brought to you by Boost Mobile. Thank you.
Bye bye.